This blue dot's going on the air. Looks like he's going everywhere. With his pet Jenny and his blue dot family. Travis is his tech guy. Put that blue dot in the sky. On his first Naruto run. Looked like this blue dot was having fun. He is not a mouse. Moved from the shop to the house. With Marsha and his clan. This blue dot is the man. Travis is his tech guy. Put that blue dot in the sky. Looked like he was having fun. Looked like this blue dot is gonna run. He likes to say every day in his own special way. Are you shitting me? And he loves his blue dot family. We love John, he is the man. And we love this special clan. We are a blue dot family. And we like to
It's a Blue Dot family, baby, and it's time for a meeting. It's time for a meeting. I hope y'all enjoyed your day. I know I did. And okay. We can't hold a meeting if everybody's sitting out there giggling all over the place, all giddy and happy and stuff. So y'all calm down now. We got a meeting to have. How y'all like today's entertainment? I woke up quite early so I could get me a front row seat. Turned on the TV, or actually I turned on my iPad. And sat there and had my coffee this morning and watched the DNI testify in front of the House Judiciary. I listened very intently. I hope you did too. And if you didn't get a chance to, I hope you got to hear some of the highlights. One of the things that I want to point out, first off, is my observation that I did not see a bunch of Republicans standing up there crying witch hunt. There was a few that chimed in and kind of insinuated that the Democrats, were just all impeachment and all that stuff. But for the most part, I saw a rather subdued Republican Congress in that meeting. Little softball questions, did a great job for your country there, Mr. McGuire, and say it again and all this stuff, So we are on the way, baby. And with the information that we have now, and I have a hard copy right here that I printed out of both the phone call that was released by Donnie, but it also has that disclaimer on there that this isn't the whole story. And, and the hand-delivered letter from the IG to the DNI, highlighting all the information and whatnot. And myself, like I'm sure most of y'all, are pretty well assured that this is a smoking gun. This is right out of the president's mouth, that he is trying to conspire to get a foreign government involved in our politics, much like he did with Russia. So in my book, we're just going down, and this is Act 2, the next election, of how they're going to lie, cheat, and steal to get their ass in. And he has started out quite well. But there was a lot of things coming up today that included in the information that has been coming out all day. Oh, Lordy, I'm trying to gather all of this up, trying to run in here and start the show when I was just trying to go over and highlight all the little special markings between the two presidents on the phone that outline exactly Donnie's mob speech about, hey, how about get me some dirt and maybe we'll give you some weapons to defend yourself. And the IG deemed it urgent and credible. But my big problem with this morning was that he went, instead of coming to the House, where he was supposed to go, where by law he was supposed to go within 14 days, he didn't. He went to the White House. He went to the White House, the Office of Legal Counsel, to seek counsel on, oh, is this presidential confidentiality and shit like that? No, it's not. The investigation is geared towards him and the Attorney General. And we're going to get into Rudy Giuliani, how the hell he got in here. I guess he's working for the State Department. We're going to ask old Pompeo about that, I guess. Seems to be a whole ball of wax out there. But I had this shit up in my mind and what I was going to say, and then it got ruined. It got ruined by one of our blue dots because I thought, well, he said it pretty good. So I'm going to read what he said. And this is one of our blue dots. He commented on Facebook. And his name is Peter Briggs. Pete Briggs. I'm sorry, Pete. Pete Briggs. And he wrote, time after time, the president came to a fork in the road. Time after time, he had the opportunity to choose the noble and honorable path. Time after time, he chose the path of lies and lawlessness for the simple reason that he did not want to endanger his hold on public office. In a cold and calculated decision of the president, had given up the chance to tell the truth, choosing to cling to public office and deny, delay, and obstruct instead. The president would seek to win at any cost. If it meant lying to the American people, if it meant lying to his cabinet, he continued, the name of the game was winning at any cost. The president, having looked 270 million Americans in the eyes and having lied deliberately and methodically, he took an oath to faithfully execute the laws of this nation, and he violated that oath. He pledged to be the nation's chief law enforcement officer, and he violated that pledge. He took an oath to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. And he willfully and repeatedly violated that oath.
Damn, that was good.
That is good. Very good. And after I read that, I said, well, shit, what am I going to say? And that's exactly a good way to put it. So, Pete, those are great words, buddy. I'm glad you posted them up there for us all to enjoy. And it speaks volumes. And that's where we are right now. We're in a situation to where we're faced with a president, obviously an illegal, and in my opinion, illegitimate president. Let me get rid of all my shit here so I can get ready to do our thing. I'm ready for impeachment, baby. As far as I'm concerned, they could take this single episode right here and file articles of impeachment on this, because there's evidence in this little jaunt that he did. But also, I'm concerned about the allegations that there are other phone calls that maybe the White House is trying to cover up and have taken off the normal servers to put on some super secret server that nobody's ever supposed to see it, ever, never. We're going to have a John Dean, baby. That's what we need. We need a John Dean out of this White House. Someone to come forward and tell the American people that there's a cancer on the presidency, and his name is Donnie the Dictator. And you can see that in the way he addresses this problem to the staff of the United Nations, the American staff, talking about he wants to know the names of the people that talked to this whistleblower and the penalty for spying. And what that penalty, back in the good old days, we'd shoot your ass. That's the message he's giving them, baby. So he's threatening them, every one of them. If you come forward, I'm going to get you. I'm going to find you. I'm going to persecute your ass. And if necessary, fire your ass in front of a firing squad. Anyway, Dwizzle Snizzle's here. Jen Locks, Greg Talbert, buddy, I'm glad you're here. How you doing? Out in California, he's a good friend of ours. Colleen Collins, Joy Peters, and David Lettner's out there. And I want to welcome everybody Stephanie Dean, Mary Goodrider, and Barbara Bergfield's out there, baby. We want to welcome everybody in the family, and I hope y'all are enjoying. Like I said, today's entertainment. So let's go into the room and see what the rest of our people have to say about this. And I think for sure Bernadette's probably got a little something to say. Don't you?
I got a lot to say.
I bet you're cranked up, loaded, baby. I bet
I've
you're loaded.
read everything.
Have you?
And yeah.
Good.
I've read it all. I've read the transcripts. I've read the acting DNI. I watched the hearing this morning. I read the ICIG's report. I've read it all. And this man is guilty as hell. And if the Democrats don't screw this up, we have a looking forward case here. Yes. Not a looking in behind. No. A looking forward to 2020. He publicly said to Stephanopoulos he would do exactly what he did. Mm-hmm. He said that. Well, he's on record everywhere saying this shit. Yeah. And he should be impeached.
Yeah, I remember Mitch McConnell when they asked Mitch, "Hey, Mitch, how come the funds aren't going to help Ukraine?" I don't know. That was Mitch's answer.
It's awfully funny. The Republicans are awfully quiet right now.
Well, I got something to say about that. Let's go ahead and welcome the rest of the group. Dennis Valdez, you in there, babe?
Yes, sir.
I'm glad you're here tonight. Got lots to talk about. How was your day?
I was with my daughter. She didn't. I brought her home early from school since it was her birthday.
Her birthday. That's right. Happy birthday. Travis had mentioned that, and that's Destiny's birthday.
Yes, sir.
18, isn't she?
Yes, sir.
That's
She's
the
all
age, baby.
to go.
That's the age. She's cranked up and ready to go, and I know that girl is knowledgeable. We'll tell her happy birthday if she's not listening, and that the whole Blue Dot family wishes her that. So
I will absolutely tell her.
All right, glad you're here. And Rick Davis, how are you, buddy?
Glad to have my voice back finally.
Well, we're glad to find it here. You sound good, buddy. You sound good.
Yeah, still getting over pneumonia, but it's doing a lot better.
Well, I'm glad to hear that. I was unaware that you had pneumonia. That's not a good thing. That's one of the things you can do without.
It's not a good thing. But what was good was Nancy Pelosi saying that the whole thing is going to shift group today, and if they try and block anything more, they're just going to flat out vote on impeachment because they've already got
they have enough now.
3 votes.
They have enough right now to pass articles of impeachment in the committee and move it right out onto the floor, and we have enough votes there to do it too. But let's get all the dirt because we got to take this to the Senate. So there's more to find out, and I don't think it's going to take long to find it.
God, I hope it doesn't take long.
And finally, Velda, how are you doing this evening?
Oh, I'm doing good.
Good. Glad you're here. How'd your day go?
Just about like everybody else's.
Good.
Just enthralled on everything that you're seeing.
I'm telling you, I was hung on that thing this morning, hungover with my coffee cup, and every time I got up to make me another cup of coffee, I took my iPad with me because I didn't want to. The only time I missed was I had to go outside to Jenny called for breakfast, and I'm room service, so.
There for a little bit, I had to, when the Republicans were trying to be mealy-mouthed over there during the hearing and the interviews, it was like I had to leave the room. I just had to quit for a little bit, and then I went back.
I did not see a lot of outrage from the Republican Party, and that brings me to what I wanted to say, and that is this. There's an opportunity here. I think it's going to be the only opportunity the Republican Party has to salvage anything that they deem is worthy of that party. All the bullshit that you've ever fed us over the life about, wait a minute, hold that thought because
I was like, wait, before
I'm sorry, snuck in there, I didn't see it.
No,
Travis over there pointing to something.
I was just letting you know, that's all.
We got Andy Paguda in here, the filthy mouth liberal, and I'm glad to hear your voice, buddy. How are you?
What I want to know is, does Trump have his taint over the whole thing where everybody can lick all the shit and then go on to do whatever
That's
they're going to do during this proceeding, because it's been absolutely ridiculous.
It is.
That's a pretty detailed description there, Andy.
You lick the shit off of it, because that's what it is.
You know, Travis.
Yes, sir.
Travis, I try to be I try my best to bless everybody that I come in contact with, and that's just my way of doing it today.
Yeah, well, I'm just gotta say, wouldn't have it any other way, man.
Diplomacy. Doing and saying the nastiest things in the nicest way. That's diplomacy.
I know, and now I gotta sleep with that shit.
Well, as I was saying, I think they have an opportunity, Andy. This is the only opportunity the Republican Party is going to have to salvage their ass, and that is to turn on him.
The whole thing, though, John, is are they going to accept that opportunity? And I just don't see it.
Well, not yet. Not yet. But again,
I don't think there's a shred of decency among the whole.
I don't either at this point.
The whole lot.
It's hard to find any of them. But to find out the answer to that question, we have to force it upon them. And again, pointing back to Watergate, remember the Republican senators in the Senate did not turn on Nixon until John Dean came out. When John Dean came out and said, "Yep, hey, there's a cancer on the president over there, and it stinks," well, that was the last straw. The Republicans could not hold out any longer.
We had a big old time with that, didn't we?
Yes, we did.
Yep.
Yeah, everybody was glued to the TV, because then finally somebody within the White House at that time had the courage and the integrity to stand up and go, yeah, this is bad, and it gets worse. And that's what we need out of this.
Somebody take a moment to explain this to the younger generation of people who are joining us, because they probably ain't got a freaking clue what we're talking about.
Well,
but this really did happen.
Yes, we've been down this road before, and that's how come I like to point to the Nixon era. And when we were all young, I say we, most of us out here around our 60s and stuff, late 50s, 60s, when we were abound back then, and the sins of a president was put on display for the world to see, and there was a lot of hedgehogging around. All the Republicans rallied around Nixon, and much as we see today with the Republicans with Trump. But the evidence kept going through a lot of work from investigative journalists. When the story started breaking about the break-in, who was behind the Watergate break-in, but then it became that the Nixon administration sought to cover everything up, and he wanted to do it with millions of dollars in cash. Well, here we are today, and we have a White House.
Work out for you, Scooter.
Yeah, how'd that figure out there, buddy? Did everything go as planned? Yeah, now we're in the same situation. The White House is now engaged in a cover-up, evidently, of this conversation with the Ukraine and others. So I'm really interested to find out what those others are.
Really quick, we also want a global perspective from none other than Blue Dot Hank. How's it going, Hank?
Hey,
Hello,
Blue. Hello, Hank. How are you, buddy?
I'm fine. I've had two weird weeks. A reunion at my high school and seeing the house of my where I grew up.
Oh, good.
Which is in the hands of somebody else at the moment.
Walk down memory lane, though, huh?
Yeah, and this week I've been mostly fighting reptards. Who were actually dissing Miss Thunberg, and I've been following, of course, this impeachment idea of.
In other words, people with absolutely no fucking life.
Yeah.
Anybody who wants to handle a little girl like that, that's just. Child, get out of here.
Well,
she has more sense than anybody else.
You say that because, of course, these people, they like to diss others and call others names, but whenever they themselves are the victim of some professional trolling.
Oh yeah, they
get angry.
Yeah, they cry a lot.
So 2 days ago, this guy, American guy, in a topic about Miss Thunberg, says that she is a stupid, dumb autist. So I check his profile page. Yeah. Turns out he's a train spotter. So he's a train spotting nerd. So I post a really silly video about nerds train spotting stuff, and I was telling him that his handicap is as bad as the other handicap, blah blah. So he was calling the kettle black. So he went berserk.
you know what is so wonderful about all of this, Tank, is that you are just as important as all of us are in this group. You're just as important as all of us are in this world.
Because
And if someone discounts you for something like that, then they become irrelevant. Not you, but they are the ones who.
This is a.
You're completely correct, and of course, this world seems to be going mad. It is not yet, but to talking about this impeachment procedure, I just hope it works.
Yeah.
Because the guy is made from Teflon. I mean, I had a big laugh when he or the White House emailed the entire telephone call to Ukraine to the Democrats.
Yeah, the talking points.
Brilliant.
Yeah, wasn't that a brilliant move?
One thing I keep reiterating, and I would like your opinion on, is that I am seeing more and more and more how oligarchical the United States of America is. I mean, Trump is a nepotist towards his own children. And sorry to say this about Biden, but why the hell would the son of Biden work for a Ukrainian company? What the hell is America doing meddling in Ukraine? Why the hell can't they stay out of Europe in this manner, you know?
Well, there was an investigation, and the problem, the Biden thing, as I understand it, there was a prosecutor in Ukraine, and this was an issue across Europe, and this is the guy that's in there now, where it went, corruption was really bad. Joe Biden's son sat on the board of a gas company, I understand, and
why?
You know, was there corruption in that company? Well, yeah, probably. I don't know.
Why did he sit on the board in the first place? What is his knowledge about oil or gas or whatever? Why the hell does he, an American, meddle in stuff which is European? It's the same like Putin's daughter, who was renting an apartment in my city and then started working for all kinds of shady companies, after which she was semi-kicked out of the Netherlands.
Yeah.
We don't like that stuff. So it's corruption galore, I think, in a way. And I just hope Pelosi is successful, the House is successful, and they can get rid of this guy. Because I'm getting, frankly, fed up with him.
Well, I think the world is getting fed up with him. As far as the other investigations are going on, I'm sure that those, you know, they've been investigated as far as I know, and with, you know, they were found not to have any connections with in anything ill in their dealings with either Ukraine. Why he sat on a board of a foreign country, I don't know. There's a lot of international business that goes on, and there's international players on a lot of boards. I don't know. Optics? No, don't look good.
Yeah, I'll say this: if there's something that needs to be investigated, it should be investigated. Our current fear at the moment is the idea that, okay, maybe one of these key players in the situation is going to be investigated, but the one that is absolutely known for crime and known for breaking the law on a daily basis, he'll get out of scot-free, and he's the president. So it's like...
Yeah.
Well, you know, that perception of him being a Teflon Don, you know, up to this point, you would think so. Yeah. But slowly by slowly,
he'll never be a Gotti. We can be assured of that.
No. Well, unless he ends up in the same place.
What do you guys think of him renting out the U.S. military to Saudi Arabia?
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of this shit.
We're not happy about that at all.
Not a bit, as far as I'm concerned.
We're not a fucking door wipe.
Yeah, we're mercenaries at that point. And my big beef with it is the fact that we have spent, and Donnie explains it happily, billions of dollars of weapons. We're making cash. Well, what the hell? Why do we got to send our troops over there then? You got all the money, you got all the weapons you need, the airplanes, all that shit you got, buddy. Go ahead and knock yourself out.
You know, John, you and I have been those troops. We're not real happy.
Yeah, no, not a bit. Ain't one of them.
John,
yes, ma'am.
Just want to let you know that today I saw an article about slicing, and he has recently sat down front and admitted that the murder is why. I say, but he's accepted responsibility.
Hang on one second, Bernadette. You were breaking up quite a bit there, and you were very faint in the background.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
That's
You're good. You're okay.
Could be my. He was saying that the murder, Khashoggi murder,
yes, Khashoggi
was under
murder.
his watch, and he was accepting responsibility because it was under his watch. I say under his command, but he says watch, and it'll be broadcast on PBS.
Who is this? Who made that admission?
Salman.
Ben Slice and Dice.
Oh, Slice and Dice himself said that. It was under his watch. You're right. It was under his direction. And you know he listened in live. You know he did. Can't prove it, but did he? Probably. He's that kind of a sick person.
There's a recording of it live.
So if there's a...
Just say no blood for oil.
Ever.
God,
ever.
That's been forever since I've heard that one.
I wish we could say that was something we could say with confidence. But it seems like our lawmakers and other countries are willing to spend all the blood, baby, to protect that oil. And
it would, of course, be an epic distraction of all this, because you send troops to Saudi Arabia to guard oil stations.
And what
we
is
have
that
another attack by Houthi rebels or whoever whoever is responsible, and American servicemen die. So then America has a reason to strike Iran. Which distracts all attention from
and here we go, the whole ball of wax starts flowing. I fear that.
Yeah,
I fear that.
It's horrible.
It's a shitty feeling to think that, we have this guy in office who is known to have an ego beyond anyone else. And I really hate the idea that we're just, whether it is a distraction or not, or if it's the idea that he's flexing his metaphorical muscles, or it could tie into something in the future like some property deal or some other shit, know, and using our servicemen and women as an aid to that. I mean, let's face it, this shit in the Middle East has gone on long enough, and the fact that it's restarting up again, no, it's making nobody happy. It's definitely not making us happy.
It's no different than Vietnam was.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, an American veteran or an American conservative ex-military guy, today I was criticizing this entire thing, like Saudi Arabia, blah blah, Trump, the military, and he said, "Well, you're probably an anti-fan nerd." Okay, he was right about that, but he asked me why the fuck I did never go to Afghanistan. Well, first of all, I said the Netherlands is not at war with Afghanistan. Second of all, Saudi Arabia was behind 9/11, not the Afghans. And third of all, your military has become a mercenary force, sadly, because if I compare the present day orders that are given out to the American military with the orders that were given out, for instance, by Ike Eisenhower, who actually fought a just war, there's a big difference. And he got really angry at something like, sorry, but, it's... I don't understand you. You might not understand me, but I just state the facts.
Yeah, no, the facts are one thing that don't evolve, baby. The truth never evolves into anything but the truth, and the facts bear the truth out. And
it's hard for them to deal with the fact. They don't like.
I asked him whether he's sworn allegiance to the POTUS, to the president, or to the Constitution.
Well,
because I think the president should never be commander-in-chief, ever.
Well, in our system, we have that system to keep the civilian in charge of the military, to keep any kind of a military government taking over. Yeah, we have that as a safeguard. Our government is in charge of.
But we don't swear an oath to the president. No. We swear an oath to the Constitution.
That's right, to the Constitution, to uphold.
And I've never been relieved of that oath.
No, I haven't either. I remember the day I took it. I had goosebumps. I had goosebumps.
In Europe, the president has no qualms about using the service for any of his, whether it's emoluments and staying in his.
I don't think I've ever taken it in my life.
And I appreciate all of you that have taken that oath and stand. I appreciate.
Yeah, me too. I mean, I'm not against soldiers, individual soldiers, or people who have sworn an oath to protect and uphold the Constitution.
No, but you want the country they represent to use them in an honorable way.
Yes. Yes.
That is the requirement of any civilization. That is a decent civilization. That they're not warmongers, and we have looked like that.
No, yeah, true, but in Europe, of course, our parliament, our government is in charge of military action, so they can ask the military to go somewhere, but they are not commanders. They just ask would you do this for us? And then our government is checked by Parliament, and Parliament can say no, we don't want this to happen. So if our government, out of some kind of how do you say that in English, out of some kind of look at us, look at what we can do, sends our troops to Afghanistan, and Parliament says no, it has gone long enough, has gone on long enough. You do not do that. The troops don't go. It's that simple.
It's supposed to be in our country that Congress has the sole authority to authorize war. Now, the presidents in the past have found ways to work around that with presidential powers and emergency powers and such like that to initiate an action.
And Congress has abdicated their
They have. I think there's a renewed passion in the House and the Senate to regain that power. And while we're on here, I want to welcome my friend David Robertson from out in Washington. How are you, bub?
I'm doing fine, John. How about yourself?
Pretty good. How's Sally?
Hey, David. Welcome.
She's fine. Thank you.
Good.
Good hearing from everyone. So I guess you watched the hearings this morning?
Every bit of it. Every bit of it. I was glued to it all morning.
Is Devin Nunes a freaking idiot
I
or
mean
what?
to tell you. You know, I kept thinking of Devin Nunes Cal. That's all. I kept listening to him, and that's what kept running through my mind.
That was hard to get through.
Yes, it was. The whole time he was speaking, I was thinking to myself, you dirty rat, you're the one that run back and forth between the Congress and the White House, telling Donnie all the secrets that he learned about the Mueller report and all that shit. He's a little scumbag. I'm surprised to see him still in the Congress.
For now.
I'm concerned about his district.
For those of you that didn't hear, there was one senator that came out today when they asked him about the closed session that they had.
Right.
Said the Republican senators were nothing like the ones in the House today. They didn't try and pull any bullshit like that at all. They were very serious.
Good. I hope they are.
That was in a closed door session?
Yeah, that was the closed door
the
session.
Okay.
In the Senate are taking this a little bit more seriously than the House, because they know that the vote for impeachment is on them.
Yeah.
And they have to take this a little bit more seriously.
We are looking at a situation now.
The House already has 218.
That's right.
Supporting this inquiry.
233.
233?
233.
It goes up every time you turn around, and it will continue to do that. So we already have the votes in the committee and on the House floor to vote on articles of impeachment.
I think Trump's going to pull the same thing Nixon did and try and get out and get pardoned before he can get impeached and put on trial.
Yeah, I'm happy with that. I'm happy. If he would have resigned tomorrow and try to get a pardon from Pence, go for it, baby. Because there's a whole lot of state laws that we're going to get his ass on, too.
That's what Agnew did.
It's just like they did Spiro Agnew. They need to impeach
Pence also. Because the question now is, what did Pence know during this Ukraine shit? Because he was scheduled to go to the Ukraine. Yeah, he was scheduled to go, and he got canceled.
That's why he got canceled.
Yeah, this little deal here.
He knew all about this.
If
he did,
if Pence becomes president and he pardons Trump,
can you hand me the phone record?
Next president deny him that pardon?
I got the highlights on there.
It would probably be part of the negotiation for him to resign, as a stipulation for him to get pardoned by the next president, whether it's Pence or anybody else. That will be part of the stipulation for him to resign, that he will be pardoned, just like what happened when.
That's what they'll try if he takes that route.
Don't forget that they got rid of Spiro Agnew's ass before they got rid of Nixon.
Nixon, that's true. That's true. But
actually, Spiro Agnew asked them to impeach him first.
Yes, he did.
Yes, he did, until he figured out that it was going to actually happen. And then he made a bargain.
I think we're in the same situation here.
Yep.
We just have to have more of this evidence on this situation, on the Ukraine situation here, because it appears to be, it's going to have the most evidence of a direct crime, and go with this. because we can't dilly-dally around. What we got, 130 some odd freaking days until the Iowa caucuses?
Yeah, they're off for 2 weeks, aren't they?
I believe so. That's what bothers me.
They were talking about not taking the 2 weeks off.
Good.
Oh, that's good.
Good, because they shouldn't.
I found out why.
Why?
Because they go 2 weeks on in Washington, and they go 2 weeks on at home, doing home business in their states, and then they come back for 2 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. What business back home would have got more important than the business this country has going on right now?
Totally.
All the religious holidays that are coming up and things like that.
Yeah. Well, happy birthday, Jesus, and all that stuff. Get your ass back in here and work.
Right.
Thank you. And you are getting paid. Thank you.
A serious, incredible.
Just came off of having a month reset. 6 weeks.
Yes, they just came back.
Yes.
See, they're supposed to go home, talk to their constituents, and work in the state, and then find out, and then take those reports back to Washington.
Well, they better go back to their little Republican districts there, and start looking at the fact that what's going to happen to their ass if they tie this Trump ass around their neck like an anchor, and this all goes south. Where does that leave them? Defending a criminal? That's what I say. Force them to defend him. Force them. Tie their ass to him. What's that?
Does anybody remember who Mike Murphy is?
Mike Murphy.
He was the former senior aide for John McCain.
Okay.
And he said that last night I was watching, I believe it was Rachel Maddow, and he said that in a secret vote, there's 30 Republicans that would absolutely vote to impeach.
There you go. I heard on the radio today, I was listening. They were talking about this. I can't remember the name of the polls. There's several polls that they were mentioning. Most of them, the average polls have him at about 60-something% of the population think impeachment is possible. But the lowest one, I mean, the one that had Trump at the lowest possibility several weeks ago, went from a 32% up to a 48% within that poll, and that's the most favorable poll to Trump. I can't remember the name of it. Nothing to write down on when I'm in the truck, but things stick in my mind. So the attitude, the idea of impeachment is growing, not only within the Democrat Party, but within the Republican Party. And that's what I mean when I say the Republicans as a party, this is their only opportunity to save face with this nation, to drag the party out of the slump, the swamp that Donnie has created with all these international monsters swimming around in there. This is their opportunity to cleanse their party. And they'd be wise to take it.
Yes, they would.
Really quick, I just want to throw this in here because this is the first time I'm reading the phone conversation between these two individuals, and I'm not one for conspiracy.
Individual one and individual two. Yeah.
And I'm not much of a conspiracy theorist.
Yeah.
But one of the fine prints here is that this is basically not a word for word.
Yeah, it's a disclaimer.
It's a disclaimer in here, right?
Yep.
So the very first thing of this conversation is the president congratulating this guy.
Yeah.
And great victory. We all watched for the United States. You did a terrific job. Blah 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 blah. Why does this sound so out of Trump's mouth? Zelensky says back, "You're absolutely right, Mr. President. We did win big, and we worked hard for this. We worked a lot, but I would like to confess that to you that I had an opportunity to learn from you. We used quite a few of your skills and knowledge and were able to use it as an example for our elections. And yes, it is true that these were unique elections. We were in a unique situation." Yep.
Yeah. Well, he's ass kissing.
As a European, this is typical European sweet talking.
Is it?
Yeah, he's just kissing his ass.
President of Ukraine, he is just He's doing what Macron has done before.
Yeah. Take a look at the
telling
highlighted
Trump,
responses.
oh yeah, we like you so
I'm reading
much.
the
But
whole
he's
thing.
Actually,
yeah.
Well, he's actually saying nothing. He's not promising
no,
anything.
he's not.
While
He's not
Trump,
promising nothing.
No.
Trump, before he found this guy, halted United States aid to
That's
Ukraine.
an act. That is an act.
And that's an act.
Yeah.
That's different.
That's not. Oh well, I'm thinking about doing this crime, which that's what it is. He's withholding military aid that was approved by Congress and through the Senate and everything.
And the Ukrainian president is just doing what many European leaders
he's trying
do
to
when
get the
Trump
money
is over there. It's like, yeah, you're so good. Oh yes.
Because the world knows the only way to deal with this man is to lump praise on him. Just tell him how wonderful he is, and all of this.
I don't know. I just love the idea that maybe because this isn't a word for word thing. This is Trump telling his people, this is what happened, and they're just trying to put it in the best way possible.
I put that transcript in the same boat as I put William Barr's explanation letter of the Mueller report.
I'm very curious though about the line.
Don't look here.
We need the tape. We need the tape of the phone call. Put it, please, if you're listening.
I want to hear it.
There's a lot. Evidently, there's more than just this Ukraine thing. Evidently, there are others. Now, that's what I mean. We need a John Dean, baby. We need him bad. We need him to step up and explain.
What I just want to know, though, is this one in particular line, which is, we use quite a few of your skills and knowledge, and we're able to use it as an example for our elections. What skills does he have except cheating? So
they are at war. Ukraine is at war, and the problem in Ukrainian elections at this moment is you have a big fascist group, which also supports Azov battalion, which is fighting against these Russian separatists.
Yeah.
Or these semi-Russian.
This is an ongoing war.
And you have a lot of. There are no real democratic elections at this time in Ukraine, no matter what.
And remember, this guy was an outside chance, and he won. He was a comedian. This guy was a comedian.
Which makes his answers to Trump even more hilarious.
Yes. So what is it, all sarcasm?
Talking about your skills. Yes, it's cynicism. It's pure sarcasm.
It's just
satire.
master.
And Trump eats it up because he thinks it's real.
Hand that to me, because there is a line there that the Ukrainian president said that I highlighted.
Last line is very important. Read that one.
Oh yeah, no, I see all the highlighted stuff, but I want to read it all the way through because the whole conversation has context, one way or another. Whether if it's illegal context or not is beyond, that's beside the point. If this is a legitimate interaction between the president behind closed doors talking to somebody, I want to see how professional
it was this line from President Lewinsky that said after again appropriately buttering up and licking Donnie's ass a little bit so Donnie will feel all good about it. He says, I would also like to thank you for your great support in the area of defense. We are ready to continue to cooperate for the next step. Specifically, we are almost ready to buy more Javelin missiles from the United States for defense purposes. That's the line from
it's big business,
from
basically.
Zelensky. This is the president's response. I would like to do you a favor I'm sorry. I would like you to do us a favor, though, because our country has been through a lot, and Ukraine knows a lot about it. I would like you to find out what happened with this whole situation with Ukraine. They say CrowdStrike. I guess you have one of your wealthy people, the server, they say. Ukraine has it. There are a lot of things that were on the whole situation. The way he talks. I think you're surrounding yourself with some of the same people. I would like to have the Attorney General call you or your people, and I would like you to get with him to get to the bottom of this. As you saw yesterday, that whole nominee ended with a very poor performance by the man named Robert Mueller. An incompetent performance. But they say a lot of it started with Ukraine. Whatever you can do, it's very important that you do it if that's possible. And I'm not sure that's what I intended to read.
John, can I make a point?
That was
Yeah, go ahead.
actually the quid pro quo.
That's because that line came right after the Ukraine president asked for Javelin missiles. When he's saying, when he's talking defense, then Donnie says, "I'd like for you to do us a favor." But what I was looking for was the part that he calls in Rudy Giuliani and William Barr.
Can I make a point?
Yes, go ahead.
The whole point about him asking about the CrowdStrike thing was that's a Republican conspiracy theory about the DNC hacking themselves.
Right.
Hacking themselves with the servers, and that it's possible that Ukraine could have those servers. Thus, it always goes back to the missing emails from Hillary.
Yeah,
he brought that up what again. He was after. Yes, it was.
He brought that up again.
Let me ask you guys something.
Good point, Bernie. Thanks.
If you read this phone call, and for instance you use two different voices, and I'll do a very small example now. You have President Zelensky. Well, yes, to tell you the truth, we are trying to work hard because we wanted to drain the swamp here in our country. We brought in many new people, not the old politicians, not the typical politicians, because we want to have a new format and a new type of government. You are a great teacher for us in that. And then Trump. Well, it's nice of you to say that. I will say we do a lot for the Ukraine. We spend a lot of effort and a lot of time, much more than European countries are doing. They should be helping you more than they are. Germany is all about take this movie to heart. It is The Godfather.
It is.
This is Mafia talk.
I have an offer you can't refuse. I'm going to make you an offer you can't refuse. That's what we have.
How about the look on Zelensky's face when Trump suggested that he sit down with Putin and try to work shit out?
It's like, God, are you see, now that's another side issue of this is... Go ahead, Bernadette.
When Putin had annexed Crimea at that point. Yes. That's exactly what he was saying.
Yes.
You need to sit down with
but I still want to come back with that imitation again. That was...
And unless you do, then if you sit down with Putin, then we'll discuss those javelins you want. But I want you to talk to my boys Rudy and Barr over here first.
Yeah, and that's the sad thing, because in the long run, who the fuck is Rudy? He's his personal fucking lawyer.
I think Rudy's ass needs to be called in front of Congress and have a few questions thrown at his ass.
He can't keep a fucking secret anyway, so we'll figure everything out.
He's a clown to begin with.
This wasn't secret. This, I remember Rudy coming out in mid-spring saying that he was going to go to Ukraine, saying that he was going to go investigate Biden. He got on TV saying that shit.
Yeah.
Yes, he did.
Yep.
Yeah, this was not secret. There was nothing secret about that shit.
Bernie, he was the 9/11 shit ton of people for some reason or another, and then all of a sudden when he gets in with this, what does he turn into? Boom! It all fell apart now. Whose ass was he kissing back in 01, and whose ass is he kissing now?
Yeah.
Rudy thought that he was going to be in this administration, just like Michael Cohen did.
You see where he wound up.
Guys and gals,
and the rest of them, Lindsey Graham, they want to be picked for Secretary of State or some position like that. That's why their heads are stuck up his ass. Hey, I agree with you. And I have to say, Andy, it's good to hear your voice again.
It is.
Thank you, Bernie. I appreciate it. It's been a couple of days.
Yeah, we got some old callers in here. We got Andy, we got David, we got Rick. It's like, and Hank, of course. Hank, you were here not too long ago, I think. Not too long ago. Well, you said you've been gone for like 2 weeks, right?
Yeah, we haven't seen Rick in a while.
But guys, listen to your president for a second. I have this guy in New York, I tell him, go to the dentist. His name's Giuliani. He doesn't go to the dentist. But what he does do is when I ask him something, he does it. Because otherwise, he'll find a dead horse in his bed.
That's right. That's right.
I would like you
not
to do us a favor,
my
though, because our country has been through a lot, and the Ukraine knows a lot about it.
A lot about it.
Yeah.
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 This is like reading a fucking script, no joke.
It is. It's sad.
Mm-hmm.
It is sad.
The administration was forced to put this out. They knew it was going to get leaked, and I have a feeling that the whistleblower also his name will get released.
Oh, it's going to be.
His or her name.
I think him or her wants to come out. I do. I think they want to be. They already want to testify in Congress.
They've already said it's a he, that he worked for the CIA. He was stationed at the White House for a while and then went back to the CIA. So it's already down to it's a he now.
All right. It's not. This is gonna flow real fast, and I believe it's because the Democrats recognize that we cannot draw this out like the Mueller report. We cannot have an investigation that lasts 2 freaking years. It's too late. We need to act on this shit now. We know what the problem is. We already knew it before with the Mueller report, but now we have a second, probably a third, fourth, and fifth.
This is like manna from heaven. If the Democrats don't fuck this up.
Yeah, the Mueller report at this point, I mean, that's history.
It is in the public view.
Yeah.
It is in the public view, and that's where the Democrats screwed up. We have 10 counts of obstruction of justice in that report, and we could not capitalize on that because of the defiance of the Republicans.
The evangelicals. Has anyone of you seen these threats of these evangelicals who want to start a civil war when he's impeached? I think that's a national security threat, isn't it?
He's been calling for that all along.
I see the headline up here. It says Lindsey Graham, very appropriate for Trump to try to extort another country. Yeah, it's very appropriate. Yeah,
Yogi wanted me to bring up this article. He was mentioning it in the Discord group, and so I'm trying to bring it up here and trying to read through it and see what's up.
Yeah, it's Lindsey Graham being Lindsey Graham nowadays. The same way that Rudy, they go from he didn't do it to, well, maybe he did it. Well, if he did do it, it was okay. That whole line. If we're doing it again, Lindsey is doing the same damn thing. Proclaiming he wouldn't do it, then when he's proved he did, well, it's okay because he did it. Lindsey Graham can kiss my butt the same way Donnie can.
This is no different than how the Republicans acted with Nixon.
That's right, until they were forced, baby. And that's the key. We need to keep the pressure up, and we need to investigate this and get more of the information of this secret server that the rest of the bullshit that they're trying to hide is on, because it's already been brought out. It's out there, baby.
This is just one call.
Yes. Yeah.
What about the calls to
I'm real
Israel?
interested in the ones that he may have had with
Saudi Arabia.
Yeah. There's some conversations I bet that went a little off the wall that I'm sure that his administration was very concerned about. Yeah, we're just starting on this. This is day 2, and we've already had the DNI. Go ahead.
So basically, the man who was all over Hillary Clinton because of her emails doesn't want his own emails published.
Yep.
Yep. I mean, come on.
The White House is supposed to keep a record of everything that the president says, does, writes, or whatever.
Yep.
And by them moving this off the public servers and putting it on some secret service is as good as tape.
Well, it wasn't even a public server. It was a top secret server that this information was kept on. They took it off the top secret server and put it on an unknown server. A super secret server that only Donnie and evidently William Barr and the rest of the criminals know about.
Which makes it as good as tape.
That's right. Those tapes have to be that information has to be subpoenaed. That information.
There might be a lot of hackers already.
Well, they're going to fight with confidentiality, presidential executive privilege.
They'll burn those servers down.
But if there is
that too would be a criminal act.
Well, if there's reason to believe that the tapes concern something of illegal activity, I believe he'd be forced to turn it over.
But the one thing about this letter from the acting DNI, that ICIG wrote was that this whistleblower said that this story was not something that he witnessed himself, but he got it from a whole lot of people. There were more than one person that corroborated this story, and that those people are still out there, and they too can be brought forward.
Yes, yes. That's the key to this. Is the whistleblower he has knowledge of who gave him the information that made him knowledgeable of what was going on. So, you know, at
first I thought the whistleblower was actually Dan Coates.
I did too.
And that was the reason why he retired. But I have a feeling that Coates knows something about this, and it is one of the reasons why he got out.
Yeah, why he got out, and he went and got his deputy director in a meeting, and she resigned.
And pulled her out.
That's exactly right, and I think there's a whole lot of to do with this shit. And but I was with you. I was thinking, oh, it's Dan Coates. Because of the proximity to the time that he resigned and everything. I was thinking the same thing. And who knows, it could still be.
It could still be Dan Coates. But they said it was from the CIA.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Well, we'll see. I'm waiting with bated breath, baby. Because whoever it is seems willing to come forward. You know.
They're dying to come forward.
That's what I hear, that they really want to come.
They just need...
Because there's more context. It needs to be put in context.
That's one of the things that came out today in the hearing, is that they forced this acting DNI, McGuire, to say that he would, under the law, protect this whistleblower.
Yes. You know,
regardless
McGuire,
of Barr and all the rest of them, because Barr's ass should be impeached.
Yes, he should.
Barr and Rudy should just be put in jail.
Yeah, Rudy needs to put in a padded cell, is what Rudy needs.
They're talking about disbarring him.
Who? Barr?
He needs to be disbarred.
Or Rudy?
Yeah.
No, Rudy Giuliani.
Well, he should be. I don't know. They ought to, if he is still a lawyer.
Both of them should be.
Both. Yeah.
You know, Barr needs to be impeached himself. I mean, this guy is blatantly come out and work for nothing but Donnie the Dick. That's it.
Look,
he's not working for the United States a bit. He is doing 100% of his job trying to protect the con man that's in our office, the thief.
Barr used to lead the Office of Legal Counsel.
Yeah.
So when this letter was brought to the Office of Legal Counsel, he squashed it.
Yes.
That's the first thing that he did.
Yeah.
And him and the Office of Legal Counsel have been writing secret laws to protect this president.
That's the only reason he wasn't
with
indicted.
Their memos and their opinions.
Yes. Yeah.
These are secret laws that they hold standing to protect this president.
I think those
These
laws
are not
need
laws.
to be challenged.
These are opinions.
They're
right,
not
baby.
Laws. Thank you. Because that's what it is. It's the OLC opinion, which all government employees are bound by the OLC decisions. They are, but that's an employee thing. This is the law we're talking about. So every time the argument comes in, well, you know, you can't indict a sitting president. Kiss my ass. That's an opinion. You know, the Justice Department can't do it because of the OLC decision that you can't do that. Well, let's get a new OLC maybe, because it seems like this one's just doing nothing but trying to hide the corruption of a corrupt president. You know, that's what it seems like to me.
Here is a small piece by Robert Reich.
I like that guy.
Reich. Sorry. On Facebook, he says the facts are clear. Trump withheld military aid to Ukraine and repeatedly asked the Ukrainian president to investigate his political rival in exchange for the release of the funds. Numerous investigative reports have confirmed this, and the transcript released by the White House this morning is even more damning. These are Trump's most blatant impeachable offenses to date, and it's high time Congress holds him accountable. And then he goes on, but do not expect Republican lawmakers to put country over party going forward. They are the cult of Trump. They will gaslight and flat out lie to the American people to defend him. Don't hold your breath for any Republicans in Congress to magically grow a spine and hold their dear leader accountable for his corruption. So yeah, that's the opinion of Robert Reich. So
how's Fox News spinning this?
No, I have not.
Fox News is fighting with Fox News.
Yeah, the news department is fighting with the entertainment section.
Entertainment, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. I think the handwriting on the wall, as far as the journalists that work for Fox News in the news department, see the handwriting on the wall. You know, it's going to go down. But as far as Shan the Pan, and the rest of them, Tucker Carlson and all those guys, they're gonna keep this, you know, propaganda TV thing going.
One thing, Judge Napolitano, who's a commentator on Fox News, also said that this could be a problem for Biden, and it truly could be a problem for Biden.
Yeah. And you know something?
The whole thing with Biden and Ukraine was already investigated and already was found that there was nothing there.
But if it looks like there's a propriety of
an impropriety,
wrongdoing, wrongdoing by Biden, he ain't gonna get elected.
It could hurt him.
Perceived. Yeah, this could hurt Biden just as much as it could hurt Trump.
As long as Trump doesn't get elected, I don't give a fuck who gets elected.
Yeah, that's where I'm at, baby.
And I agree with you.
Yeah,
I agree with you.
But again, you're not wrong. It could hurt Biden. Whether it should or not is debatable. I don't think
like those imaginary emails.
Yeah. You know, he's getting pegged with Donnie's narrative of this whole shit, and that's not enough for me. I'm sorry. I don't buy into Donnie's whole look that the Bidens are all over this. It was investigated. As a matter of fact, the clip of Biden saying we're going to withhold funds was done on national TV. And it was done at the behest of the European countries that also wanted this particular prosecutor removed because of his inability to bring any charges against any corruption, because the guy was corrupt as hell. So all of Europe, not just the United States and not just Joe Biden, wanted this guy gone, and that it was a big thing. The corruption in the Ukraine was a big thing. You know, there's
the whole CrowdStrike servers. The FBI's already stated they have all of the servers.
Yes,
there are none missing. Well, so how could there be one hidden in Ukraine?
Well, you know there is.
There wasn't. This is a conspiracy theory by Rudy Giuliani and the Republicans.
Yeah, we just haven't looked deep enough. You're not looking. There's murder and mayhem everywhere.
They're humans.
What's that?
I said the only conspiracy is that they're human beings.
No, the conspiracy is Trump is trying to get the Ukraine to fuck around in the 2020 election.
Yeah, but Trump wasn't born; he was hatched.
Well, there you go.
Chickens.
Yeah, like most chickens. That's what he was. He crawled out.
And that egg was truly dropped before it hatched.
I don't. You know, this is.
It should have been put in the skillet and scrambled.
There is no reason.
I think he was.
That this incident cannot be the incident that does the trick. You know that we.
I tell you what. In the last few days up at the UN, he certainly looked like he was scrambled, being on all those drugs.
I swear, did y'all see him? Give it
the speech that
he was drugged up, baby. You tell me that man wasn't up on some. He mixed a little Adderall there with some.
My grandson reads
little Xanax or some shit. I'm telling you.
Really nice video. There was a really nice video posted today in the Dutch news media, and it now has YouTube. That during the speech of Mr. Trump, our king and our prime minister were sitting not paying attention to it. So our king takes his phone out and he shows our prime minister some videos. Nobody knows what it was, but they both start laughing hysterically while Trump is speaking. So that's how important he is to us here in Europe.
Well, good. Good. I'm glad to hear that. Makes me tickle.
They're probably showing videos of him.
You know, he's a laughing stock to the world.
Yep.
That's what he is. You know, he
sadly, America has become one too.
Well,
I'm sorry to say.
We're fighting it. We're the ones, Hank, that's fighting the battle, baby, to return our house to normal. You know, you're in the room with the Patriots of Honor, the defenders of liberty,
Guardians of Liberty.
The Guardians of Liberty. Thank you, Bernadette. That's
You're
us.
welcome.
That's us, baby. Every one of us listening, every one of us that participate in democratic process are guardians of liberty at this point. and we outnumber them, baby. And our numbers grow every day. And that's how come I make the appeal to the Republicans out there. And I'll tell you what, Mama today did not have a good day. Mama read a little something online.
Oh, no. She ain't happy. I'm not happy, and it's whatever.
Nobody here is happy.
But it's whatever. It's what the fuck ever. I don't give a shit. I mean,
it's an internal thing within our family, meaning our house here. Somebody put something online.
Well, no. Okay, wait. No, I get you. I was gonna say in this house. No.
No, not in our house.
Immediate family, we're all good.
Yeah, we're all here good in this house. In our immediate family, words have been being said, and Marcia is hesitant to strike back in the way I wish she would, but I understand why she doesn't. But lately here, it's been a little, pushy. Well, they love him, and they're praying every day that God ordains his ass and all sorts of shit, and they're gonna reelect him in 2020.
But hey, there's a silver lining with all this.
What?
And we got to remember this. At least the last time I checked, even though I'm not really connected with family that much, her daughter is nowhere near like her.
I don't think she's Republican at all. I don't think so. Young person, millennial.
Yeah.
No, she's not. She's younger than millennial.
But it's one of those proofs that your kids can grow up and have a mind of their own and decide what is right and what is wrong. So that's thumbs up to that.
The greatest thing you can give them is the ability to determine exactly that, what's right and what's wrong. I've always told my kids, a friend will never do anything, never ask you to do anything that's going to put you in jeopardy.
Wait.
If he does,
give me the
not
script.
a friend.
Give me the script.
Give me the script. Where's the script?
I don't know why, because you saying that. What was it? A friend would never ask you.
A friend will never ask you to do anything that is going to put you in jeopardy.
I would like you to do us.
He's not a friend.
I would like you to do us a favor, though, because our country has been through a lot, and Ukraine knows this whole situation with Ukraine.
Yeah.
They say, in other words, you think that's your friend, Ukraine?
Yeah, that's your buddy.
Anything that starts off with, hey, we got this, we
got
need
this
more
problem
javelins.
Here.
Because we need more defense. And your next sentence is going to start with,
be
I would like you to do us a favor, though.
Be a shame if the Russians were to just plow over the border and just take your country. That would be a shame.
Cut right to the chase. I need you to do this for us, though.
What?
Well, no, that's just it. It's like, I need you to do this for us before
wonderful.
I give you defense.
I know you need the muscles, but I need you to do me a favor. Quid pro quo. There you go, baby. In those words,
that's not your friend.
That's not your friend. No. But you can't blame the Ukrainian president for kissing his ass or doing whatever he has to do to be able to get the military hardware that he needs to defend his country from, guess who? Putin. Now that's the double-edged thing here, is I keep thinking about. Donnie's willing to withhold military hardware and guarantees for the Ukraine, which has Russia on their freaking border. Russia already took the Crimea. Do you think right now under this president, if Putin went ahead and put a push over and took all of Ukraine, do you think Donnie would do a damn thing about it?
No.
I don't think so. I not only don't think so, it could be part of the master plan for later if Donnie stays in this house. To turn, because remember, Putin's big wish is to return the Soviet Union to the glory of its. It was before the Cold War. I mean, during the Cold War and all that. That's what he wants, which includes taking back Ukraine. There's a lot of issues here that play into this bullshit that Donnie's playing with Ukraine. He's already demonstrated that he's willing to withhold that aid for something that he wants. How long would it be before he's willing to withhold that aid for something Putin wants? Just food for thought there. That's what I think anyway.
John, did you hear anything else back from the hitchhiker? About the hitchhiker?
Yes, I got a call from the police department this morning. A young officer had called me to get some more information on the young guy, or the guy that I had picked up, and if I knew anything about the family that he claimed to have some family up the road over here in Mathis, but a lot of it was incoherent. I didn't understand a lot of what he was saying. I was feeling sorry for him. I knew he said he spent a couple of days under a bridge in Corpus, and when I read the alert when I got home about this guy, his family is concerned for his mental condition. Well, 2 and 2, I had to call. I had to. I wrote.
Did the right thing.
I hope so. I hope they find who, whether it was this guy or wherever the guy is. I hope they find him and get him the medical attention that he evidently needs, or and the help that he needs. But evidently, it's not a criminal thing. It's his family is very concerned about him. So, I really do. I hope they track him down and find him.
Yeah.
Because, I felt bad for him because I didn't have any cash in my pocket, and I told him I gave him a cigarette and offered him 2 more for the road, and I felt bad because I didn't have any cash in my pocket. Told him all I had was plastic, buddy. I said, Mama don't trust me with cash anymore. No, I'm just kidding. But I didn't. If I had, I would have given him a few bucks to make sure he could have got something to eat or something. But I got him as close to his destination as I could at the time, not thinking much of it. But yeah. And then about an hour later, get that alert on my phone with the guy's picture. Oh shit! I come to Marcia, honey. That's him. I think it's a little more dirty. The same mustache. Looks like the same hat. And,
yeah. What are the odds?
Yeah. What are the odds? So you have to. In that situation,
you were an assist to a runaway.
That's it. I'm an accomplice to his escape. No, anytime any of us have that inclination that maybe that is somebody's looking for, is at the car, and we all second guess ourselves as to should I call, should I not call? There's so many examples of the old saying, when you see something, say something, and especially
right.
There's times we just have to step up and do that. And but yeah, it wasn't that big a thing. I got a call back from the police and to get the more details and everything that I could remember. And so I hope they help him out. But that was my good deed for the day. And I always tell my kids, ever since they were little, we're good deed doers. That's who we are. We're good deed doers. If you have the possible, have I not said that your whole life?
Oh no, you have.
Yeah.
You have, and I try to follow that example, but I'd be lying if I said nowadays I'd have the bravery to stop and give someone a ride.
I looked at him and thought to myself, I could take him. Not a problem. I'm not scared of this guy. Go ahead, get in the truck. I come from a different age.
No, you don't need a seatbelt. You don't need a seatbelt.
Yeah, no shit. Oh, I thought that scenario through. Some guy pulls out a gun or a knife. What do you do? Yeah, if I die, you're dying with me, motherfucker. Yeah, that's how this is going to go.
Last time I picked anybody up, I just said, hop in the back of the pickup. You're good to go there.
Yeah, well, I have protection near me in the truck. I always do. Not that I ever want to, but I don't worry about such. I really don't. I've never had a problem with anybody I ever picked up, and maybe one of these days I'll be wrong.
I hope not.
Guys, I have something.
And in that case, I feel sorry for that guy.
I have something for you.
What's that, Hank?
Let me see if I can. I have something for you. Let me see if I can play it loud enough so everybody can hear it.
Let's hear it.
This just came out on CNN. Where is it? Hang on. Stupid phone. Okay, hang on. This is Mr. Schiff.
If it's gonna be your Star Wars soundbox again, Tank.
No. This is Mr. Schiff from Intel House. Yeah. Hang on.
Okay.
All reflect a conversation far more damning than I or many others had imagined. It is shocking at another level that the White House would release these notes and felt that somehow this would help the president's case or cause. Because what those notes reflect is a classic Mafia-like shakedown of a foreign leader. They reflect a Ukrainian president who was desperate for U.S. support, for military support to help that country in a hot war with Putin's Russia, a country that is still occupied by irregular Russian forces, in which people face a very dangerous and continuing and destabilizing action by their aggressive neighbor. Now, I know that Attorney General is denying involvement in this, but nonetheless, you can see why the Department of Justice would want this transcript never to see the light of day. You can see why they have worked so hard to deprive our committee of the whistleblower complaint. And in fact, the opinion by the Justice Department is startling in its own regard, because in that opinion, the Department of Justice advances the absurd claim that the Director of National Intelligence has no responsibility over efforts to prevent foreign interference in our elections. Well, that will come as news, or at least it should, to the Director of National Intelligence, who is charged, among other things, with detecting foreign interference in our elections and with reporting to Congress about foreign interference in our elections. That a President of the United States would interfere with our national security, would interfere with the national security of our ally, and do so for the illicit purpose of trying to advance his election campaign, having already sought foreign help in his first presidential campaign, would now abuse the power of his office yet again, this time to seek the help of another nation in his presidential campaign, is the most fundamental betrayal of his oath of office.
There you go, baby.
And I'd be happy to respond to your questions, but one final point about the whistleblower.
Yeah,
we still don't have the complaint. Now that we have the Department of Justice opinion, and I think it's telling that they have released that and yet not released the Inspector General's legal analysis that takes issue with it. This is, again, Bill Barr's Justice Department trying to put out a misleading spin, in this case in the form of the department's opinion.
So this was the chairman of the Intelligence Committee.
Yes, that's Adam Schiff. Yes. Yeah, I listened to that.
On CNN.
Yeah. Oh, well, yeah, I think he said that yesterday. Yeah, that's
okay, maybe, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the classic example of mob extortion, you know.
Yeah, so I hope the Republicans see it too now.
Yes, yes, that's what this is all about, baby. Is because we're at a point now, as we were back in years past, that this can't be just a 5:30 news article. Oh, it comes on the world news and that's all. No, this has to be a public trial. The information, because of the nature of our political situation right now, it is hard for some in our country to get the truth. Some people turn on a certain station, Fox spews bullshit mountain, and that's all they hear. But even there, the news section is starting to you know, let them know, like, hey, you know, the emperor's got no clothes here. Y'all better close your freaking eyes. It is starting to happen, but it has to be. It has to grow from here. It has to get louder. It has to get more determined by the Democrats, and more information and more proof has to come out. And you know it's there.
You know, I watched the hearing this morning,
well,
and one of the complaints from Devin Nunes was that, oh, you have the press in here. You know, this is a witch hunt by the Democrats, and they couldn't impeach him with the Mueller thing,
yeah,
so now they're trying to go with it.
Says the guy that ran in front of the press when he was, yeah.
Right, you know, tiptoed through the midnight hour up to the White House.
Right.
But this is what the Republicans don't want in front of the national news, so that the people don't get this information. That's right. Which is all the more reason why it needs to be done publicly.
As the numbers we see change more and more in the Democratic House for impeachment, so goes the nation. So goes the nation. The more and more people, the more and more of our population that hear these crimes, that hear his ignorance spoken again on the world stage, and indeed putting our own national security at risk for his personal gain. It just plays to the worst among us, and that's what I say. This is the only opportunity I think the Republicans have at this point to salvage the Republican Party and start standing up. Get behind, I don't know who was that, Utah. Who's the Mormon? Who's the Mormon?
Mitt Romney.
Mitt Romney. I'm sorry. Some of the most obvious names escape me sometimes. Get behind his little measly mouth that he's coming out. He needs to step up more. There needs to be more senators on the Democratic side standing up on the floor of the Senate and challenging the Republicans to defend this kind of behavior. Force them to keep doing it over and over and over. It's the only way you're going to change them and their constituents back home to start questioning their own loyalty to this country.
Really quick, I want to welcome back Filthy Mouth Liberal. I didn't realize he dropped out earlier, so we brought him back. And we also want to welcome
Keith's here. Hey, I'm sorry, I haven't been checking that board. Hello, Keith. Oh, he's got his muted too. There he is. Hello, Keith. Oh. I know he's there. Ooh, right, buddy.
Here.
There you go. How you doing? How's everything?
Just walked in and had to listen to you.
I appreciate it, buddy. I appreciate it. How's things up in Minneapolis?
Getting ready for autumn.
Oh, man. Y'all got cool weather coming, don't you?
Well, the leaves are up falling.
Send a little bit of that down here, would you? I'm sweating my ass off again today in my truck.
58 here today.
Oh, kiss my ass,
53
David.
here.
Ah, shit. I would love that for a few days. for a few days. And then we'll go right back up to... See, I want to hit that 80s. I want to stay in the 80s. That's where I like it. Just warm enough for everything and cool enough, to get down into the 60s in the evening. But we're still in the high 80s at night. We're lucky to hit 89 at night now still.
We got your 80s in Northern California.
No, y'all got everything I need up in Northern California. Thinking about
come visit.
I know it, baby. I do. I don't need them. Yep. No, I have to stay here and fight for my state to drag this state along, baby. I got to. I want to come for a visit, but I got to stay here because the fight is here.
We will try to get to you.
Yeah, here
How
you
about
go.
that one?
That would be great, baby. That would be great. On that note, hey, David.
Yes.
Outstanding, my friend. That's all.
Good.
That's all. Just wanted to let you know that.
Good.
All right.
Oh, yeah, I know what you're talking about.
No, you don't.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
I've seen you.
Happy.
Speak, I have to kill you.
No, I didn't say anything.
That's all there is to it.
I gotta say though that rub.
That rub. David,
works on everything.
I'm saying, hell, we got the whole family using that shit. I'm getting concerned. I'm fixing to take it away from
I was really skeptical about that initially.
I was, and I'll tell you straight up front, when you told me about it, I was thinking, just another rub. It works, David.
Snake oil.
I'm telling you, that stuff really works, and I'm using it on my shoulder. I'm using it on my knees. My kid's over there rubbing it in his head over there. Shit. Mama's using it. So, yeah.
Are we talking about the green stuff?
No.
The oil?
No, this is it's a
byproduct.
Yeah, it's a byproduct.
I know.
Yeah, it's a CBD, CBN, and other ingredients.
Good stuff.
Yeah, the good stuff.
It works.
Yeah, and it works. I keep looking at it.
WD-40.
Hey, my father-in-law swore by that shit. WD-40.
A lot of people do.
A lot of people do, and it's not too bad because it's got fish oil in it. Well, fish oil's good for you, so maybe there was some good to that shit. I don't know, but yeah, I used to get a kick out of it. My father-in-law will be out there squirting his elbow over there and rubbing it in because it's got to get it to working. Bill, that doesn't work. Well, shit, who am I? Now look at us. The most famous quote my father-in-law ever gave to me was I was working in my shop one day, and I had a double bay shop open to the highway up there, my name up on the sign and all that kind of good shit, and I'd be sitting in there. And when I didn't have any business, meaning somebody that broke something brought it in, I'd be building something, a barbecue pit, cattle guards, whatever it be. I'd be building something to sell. And one day he came up there, and I was sitting out in the shop area and just leaning on the cattle guard, and I was thinking about what I was going to do. And he walked up to me and said, "What are you doing?" Thinking. He looked at me and he said, buy your books, and all you do is eat the pages. And walked away. And that line has stuck with me my whole life ever since then. Buy your books, and all you do is eat the pages. Bill was one of them people that think you should be swinging that hammer, metaphorically, whatever you did for a living, 24/7, baby. If you didn't have a reason to stop and think about something because there was shit to do. And that's the way my father-in-law was. I loved him dearly. And he was an old hand from the oil field and came up the hard way. So had a lot of respect for him. But we miss him dearly. Anyway. So, what else is going on? Shit. I'm telling you, man. I'm so almost beside myself with the thought that this is the smoking gun. This is the stuff we need to get this man out of our house. And I am confident it is, as long as the Democrats don't screw this up. And
right.
That's what I'm concerned about now.
I hate to be the wet blanket, but I'm not sold yet, and here's why.
What?
Because, and I know I've said the story before. I remember a year ago where me and Rose were heading to the grocery store, and you gave a phone call and you said things are finally going to start happening, and I said, what do you mean?
Yeah.
And that was with Comey. Yeah. And I thought it too. It's like, oh, there's no way. Yeah. There's no way.
Yeah.
There is absolutely no way. How many years are we into it now?
3 years.
In other words, I can see it happening, but I'm not getting my hopes up until it happens.
There.
Then I'll celebrate. So
people now though have the fatigue factor as well.
Yes.
They're tired of the bullshit.
That too.
Yeah. That's
day to day.
That's how come we have to light a fire under their ass.
Remember what happened in the Galactic Senate? And how difficult it was to get rid of Palpatine?
Oh yeah. It just took him to let his guard down for a few seconds. Finally.
Yeah, it's the same.
Yeah. Oh no, it really is. Well, we just need a Luke to go in there and wreck shop. Or no, but when you think about it,
y'all are talking metaphorically in what language?
No, when you think about
in Star Wars language.
Anakin did fulfill.
Anakin
did fulfill the prophecy. He was the one who took down the Palpatine. So, who would be Anakin in this situation? Would maybe did Pence was Pence the whistleblower? No, I mean obviously we know too much about the whistleblower to say it's Pence, but it would be funny.
You know who I think it is?
One of his kids.
Ivanka. I think it's Ivanka. It's got to be Ivanka.
Oh, that would be funny.
I wish it would be, but
you know, speaking of Ivanka, she needs to quit. If she wants to be taken seriously on the stage of the world, then put on a bra.
Yeah.
And that's all I'm gonna say about that.
Cold on the floor. Cold on the floor.
Oh,
come on.
Man.
Are you happy to see me?
Yeah, stepmom can get away with it, so can she.
Yeah,
right?
that's if Mama
You're
can.
close for nipples.
The best video of Ivanka is the one in which she tries to talk with these European leaders.
Oh yeah.
And they basically shun her.
Yeah, they blow her off.
As well they should have, because that's she's got eyes on her daddy made it. Her daddy became president, and she knows what kind of an asshole he is, what kind of a liar, conniver, backstabbing. That's his whole life has been nothing but a destruction of other people to get where he's at. And she has thrived in that environment, learned from it the same way his two boys have. They do have delusional dreams that, hey, daddy could do it, and he's a stupid ass. It's so yeah, Ivanka has wishes.
Trump has already put out an impeachment task force and trying to raise funds for his campaign against this whole impeachment call.
Oh yeah.
And they're already sending out their little campaign letters to
gotta make as much money as they can while they can.
Exactly.
He raised 13 million already.
Yeah.
There was a very cynical cartoon in a Dutch magazine today in which you see Trump in 2020 winning and then thanking the Democrats for the impeachment process.
I don't think it's going to go. The Democrats can screw this up. If they go back and they try to grab everything that he could possibly be impeached for from day one, they will screw this up. if they stay forward looking to the 2020 campaign, and this is what he is currently doing in office, not something from way back when, because everybody's tired of that and we're over it. Stay focused on this, and we will take him down.
If we try, if we try to go backwards.
Nancy said today is that everything is going to be about this that's going on in Ukraine right now.
Yeah, because if we bring up the Mueller report and all that stuff with the Russia investigation, at this point, that's already embedded in so many of these guys' talking points about, oh, here we go, this is a Dems doing this. No, this is a whole other issue, and at a whole other level.
Quick question.
If this is what it took to get Nancy to stop dragging her knuckles on impeachment, because nothing else seemed to get her to go this route, this did.
Yeah.
How many Republicans are needed to impeach him?
Shit, I don't know, but we have. I can't think right now. We need. We have the majority in the House right now.
We have
but I think it has to be a majority plus one.
Plus one.
There you go.
We have the.
I so appreciate you being on top of so many things. I really do, baby. I appreciate it.
The House takes 218, and they have 233 as of now.
Yeah. So if you have, we need 218 votes, but we have that plus one. The gentleman from, I think it's Michigan, who left the Republican Party and turned
There's
independent.
Yep.
I can't just recently. I can't remember his name.
Yes. The one that just left. Yes, Hamas.
Yes.
Hamas.
Yes. Yes, Hamas. We have him on our side, but it is not. It is the House. The House can bring up articles of impeachment.
Yeah.
It is up to the Senate to remove him from office, and those guys over there are awfully quiet right now.
Right now they are. Where before, here lately, they've been very boisterous. It's just, gosh, the Democrats are doing this and that and the other, and there's nothing to it. This, you don't hear that. Most of what you're hearing over there is crickets right now. That's positive.
Because they know.
Yes.
Once this the letter came out from the DNI, the unredacted version, the one that has all the black spots clear and everybody can see that stuff. They saw that stuff, and they came out. A lot of Republicans came out from after seeing that, even in the House, and said this is worse than we thought it was.
Yes, it is. It is, and there's evidence on this shit. And, not like there wasn't evidence before, but he had his base stood with him during the first. But what did George Bush say? Well, in the words of George Bush, fool me once, shame on. It's not nice to fool people. That kind of line. That's
God, please stop.
Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice.
I would take George Bush back right now with open arms.
At least we can control the idiot. This idiot, he's doubling down and triples down on everything. And today, going into the UN and talking about the spies, and he wants to know who talked to this whistleblower and the penalty and all this shit. Who does he think he is? This is bullshit.
He's got a really bad disease. He's got a really bad disease.
Yes.
It's called run of mouth.
Yes.
He cannot keep his mouth closed if it would save
it is sound bites like that need to be played over and over to the Republican Party, over and over, because that demonstrates his willingness to go the full length, baby. What he is saying is, if he had his way, anybody that talked to him, we ought to take you out and shoot you. That's his message. That's his threat to those people. That if you talk, you're a spy, and you know what they do to spies. It's the same kind of language he was using right there that he used with the president of the Ukraine. It's mobster talk. For Jesus.
Back in the spring, there was an article that came out about Republicans on the inside of the White House and how they were holding the ship down and they were trying to keep him in line. I think those people are still there, and I think they want this shit exposed.
Yeah.
It's the White House that leaks more than everything else.
If you follow this out.
It's the White House.
Yes. If you follow all of this shit out, if you're a Republican and a sincere Republican, and you look at the path this is all going down, you should have no problem finding out where this ends for this. and wherever it ends for him, it ends for the Republican Party because you were complicit in it. You are an enabler to this shit. It is long past the time that the Republican Party needs to stand up and save the party if there's anything left to save. You can clean your house, because right now your house is filthy, and it's getting filthier every day. So it is time for the Republicans to stand up. And if they don't, we need to remember that and emphasize it in those districts, in those states that they reside, that they are from. Those constituents need to know that their senators and their congressmen are not standing up for the Constitution. They're standing up for a liar and a crook. And when you're in bed with liar, sleep with all that
I
shit.
wonder if Moscow Mitch is shaking in his boots right about now.
I hope so, because it's going to drag the whole party. That's what amazes me. There could be no good come out of the Trump administration. He's already gone down the tubes on just about every level there is. His numbers are beyond repair. The only way he could ever hope to win would be to do it the way he did it before and have Russia's help, the Ukraine's help, maybe a little North Korean help. Oh, hell, the Saudis might want to, make a deal with him. That's the only way this man can win, is if we let those influences, determine our values, what we believe, what we hold dear. And I'll tell you what.
Hey, Doc.
Yes.
I read or saw where between 13 and 34 Republicans would support impeachment, but
yes.
if they remain unnamed.
Yes, I heard that same report that there was 30.
If they could do it anonymously, they would support it. Yes.
Yeah. Yes. It shows
they could do an anonymous vote.
Yeah.
They would support it.
Yeah. I mean,
but they're not going to come out publicly and say it.
I would take that, but at the same time, it's like, no, you should come out and say it.
Well, you should.
They don't. Yeah. They don't want to hurt their base.
And they will be
forced
to.
That's what makes them feckless.
Yeah.
That's because they know that this is a crime. They know it goes against the Constitution. They know he has broken his oath of office, and that's what makes them feckless.
Yeah.
Is that they don't come out publicly and say it.
Woo. Say it, Bernadette. I love it, baby.
They piss me off.
There you go, baby.
They piss me off.
I love it.
They've lied to the public for so long, and they can't save face by doing it in front of God and everybody.
Yeah.
They can only do it in secret.
Not when they got his own words out there. Yeah. These are his words that he released.
No, Bernadette. No. What I'm saying is the Republicans have lied so much to their Christian base. And if they come out and say anything different, they're going to lose their base. As they should. But they need to come out and stand for country, not political side.
Yeah. Amen.
Well, they believe that the God in heaven sent this idiot.
Yeah, some of them do. And some of them in my family do.
Shit.
And
the chosen one.
Yes, the chosen one.
So
as a matter of fact, did y'all notice that
Here's what they forget about the Bible. The Lord giveth and the Lord taketh away.
What it says. Did y'all see that little comment he made about that the Democrats think they're pious? Which would make Donnie who? Jesus. Yeah, that's the, are you shitting me? Even that was today. They think they're pious. Yeah. Where's that wooden cross at? Get it out here. We may need that. Anyway.
Please don't botch it up this time. Otherwise,
that's what we're all going to try to do, is not botch it up.
And I will write to my senators and tell them, don't fuck this up.
Don't fuck this up this time. This is bullshit. You got one opportunity here.
Or shall I say, don't monkey this up?
Yeah. Are you being racist, Bernadette?
Hey, I'm just saying.
I'm just saying.
Okay, don't orangutan it up.
What's up, Milda?
Here's the scary thing.
What's that?
They're going after him on all this new shit. Okay?
Uh-huh.
If, God forbid, and I'm saying God forbid, if it fails, and then he can come back and he can say, oh, look, everything that was done in the Mueller report, it's right, it was clear, it's free and clear. They have nothing on me.
Oh, that if it fails, you have a new dictatorship.
You know what?
Right.
I think
We're
the
done.
Democrats in the House, I think if they think that this is going to fail, they won't bring the impeachment.
This has got to
They
be
won't
full
bring it.
balls to the wall. This can be no
It has to
hesitation
stay.
on this.
It can't stop.
No.
They have got to
Make
keep
or
the
break
momentum
in your
going.
case. It is make or break in your case. This
Yes.
guy wants to be a dictator, and he's well on his way to go be a dictator. That's also why Mr. Pope, the Catholic Pope, today said that he's hearing 1934 rhetoric all around the world, but especially in America.
That's
That's
pitiful.
the danger.
And we have spoke about that. That's where Donnie gets us. I swear, the man gets it right out of Mein Kampf. That's where he gets his playbook. That's where he gets his ideas. His oh, that's my baby. Hello, sweetie.
What are you doing in
She
here?
opened the door. Come here, sweetie. Come here, baby. No,
And we have the great Steve Bannon for bringing this shit to us.
Yes. Yeah, he's still out there trying to stoke those fires, baby. That guy is. Hello,
Yeah,
sweetie.
he's stoking it all over the world.
He's in the UK right now.
Is that where
Laying
he
in
is?
the shadow.
Boy, howdy. He needs to crawl back in the sewer from whence he came. That man.
Yeah, and already over there, they're trying to kick Boris Johnson out.
Yeah. As well he should. He lied to the Queen, man. How can you lie to the Queen? What's up with that
He
shit?
didn't last very long.
Nah, he didn't. No,
It's a British Trump.
Yeah, that's
the
right.
power with him.
The shortest prime minister ever.
Yeah. Well, wait, hold on. Israel might have another election coming up pretty soon.
You know what happened in Israel today?
What's that?
The guy who won could not form a government, and now Netanyahu is forming a government.
He's been asked to form a government. That doesn't make him the president. Just means he's got an opportunity to form a government. If he can't do it, guess what? We're back to another election. That's right.
Yeah.
If he cannot form one, then we're back to another. And there are parties that are declining to work with him. He could remember Netanyahu. That's how come we had this one. He couldn't form a government before.
And he's now under investigation of corruption.
Yes,
and other
that's
crimes.
Netanyahu's. The only way Netanyahu stays out of jail is if he becomes president again. If he has another term,
Minister.
I'm sorry, as prime minister. That's his only hope. He's under criminal investigation, and it looks serious. And as far as I can understand, there's a high probability that he's going to be found guilty, and he could be sentenced.
He's in the same fucking boat as Donald Trump.
That's it. They're crooks, liars, cheats, and thieves.
Ehud Barak was found guilty. A lot of Israeli politicians have been found guilty even after they left office. So Israel, in that respect, is quite good with the law.
Yeah, they are. So we'll see what happens there. But I was struck by the fact that if Netanyahu cannot form a coalition government, then it's back to elections again, and they'll do it all over again, I guess. So.
In a way, that's the benefit of parliamentary democracy with multiple parties. I mean, the UK has a difficulty because they don't have a lot of parties in parliament, like the Tories and the what's also almost a two-system party. And America has the same problem. Not a multiple
we have a two-party system.
Democracy.
Yeah, it's hard to forge. We'd always wish that there might be another party that would come along that would rise up, that would speak to the people. But in our situation here, baby, that's the Democratic Party. It's the party that we have to make. It's just like the Republicans. They let who in what they want. They made their party a party of liars, cheats, thieves, white supremacists, neo-Nazis. You let them all in. Come on, we need a bigger tent. Our tent needs to grow with people that are concerned with this country and concerned for their fellow Americans and are tired of watching year by year go by with trickle-down economics in one form or another, using one metaphor or another, to give money to the wealthy and take it away from our society. It hurts our society the way this happens. And I got really pissed off at somebody about they was trying to defend Republicans, and I same thing I said on, go look at a graph. Every time there is a Republican office, things go to shit, and then Democrat has to come back and fix it.
There's another difficulty with the two-party system, of course, is that we are forced to compromises. We are forced with multiple parties in government to compromise and to have a consensus.
Well, that's the way our system's set up, is to have compromise. But we cannot compromise on the basic ethics of our country. We cannot compromise on our integrity or on our values. We can't do that. We have to stand solid on the things that we say we believe in. And this man would sell it all, baby, for a high-rise apartment in downtown Dubai or somewhere. You know.
Well, just like George W. Bush Jr., he also shits on the Constitution, and he does it every day.
We have no shortage of people that do that today in our White House. But I see our time is up. The names are up there. Travis has reminded me, and but we want to take the time to thank all of you for joining in the conversation. Reminding again that we miss our YouTube family. We miss you dearly. The clock ticks by. When y'all will be able to join us again, and we'll look forward to October 28th when you can return and join us in the conversation. We want to thank all our Patreon members and those that support the show in one way or another. You're the ones that keep us going, keep the lights on, and keep the internet on, and improve our morale. So we really appreciate that, and it warms our heart anytime we hear from any one of you. But this is our fight, baby. It's ours to win, and it's ours to lose. So we have to get this right this time. I want him out so desperately bad that I feel confident. So confident that I am starting to put feelers out because I got to find me a barbershop because I want to do this right. I want it live. I want to shut this thing down and cut it off, and I want, you know, like the old timey straight razor. So I got to find me somebody who knows how to use a straight razor because it's my throat up there. But I'm looking forward to it. I'm starting to make plans in my head about how we're going to do that, and so we need to get the champagne ready because I think before election, man, I want to say this and I don't want to because I don't want to make predictions. Don't fucking jinx it. No, I don't want to
jinx it.
I don't think we're going to get to the election. I don't think so. I think shit's going to hit the fan and everything's going to go. Anyway, I love all of y'all for coming in. Bernadette, Hank, thank you. David, appreciate everything, buddy. Kat, Keith, man, we appreciate it. Rick Davis, buddy, I'm glad you're back in here, got your voice in here. And, of course, Velda, one of our moderators. We're always happy that she's here. I always brag thing to the table, and we had great conversations tonight. And I want to thank all of you for being here because it is the most precious thing that you do give us is the time. So like, share, subscribe, but keep this message going, baby. We have the reins of this horse, baby. It's going to go where we want it to go and how fast we want it to go. So let's hope our lawmakers and Nancy Pelosi and all that get their shit done and we can celebrate. So on that note, y'all have a good night. We'll see y'all later. And by the way, I forgot my liker community, our new liker community. I want to mention them. Thank you for y'all tuning in and watching the video. We appreciate it. We've been on the air for 3 years with this program and this message. And we're glad to have those joining us over on liker.com and Omar Rivera for inviting me over there to start a page and spread the message over there. Involvement is the key, baby. Be informed, be involved any way you can. And this is a good place to start. Get the Discord, come over here and have a conversation. Y'all have a good night, and we'll see y'all later. Bye.